Alright guys, what's going on? Here to talk about Canelo versus Lara. Basically talking to the fans here before I do my official prediction on the fight. Want to say, hey, great news. The fight's official. It's going to happen in July. And, I couldn't be more excited for this fight, man. It's going to be a good fight. This is a fight that the fight fans have been wanting to see. The hardcore fight fans have been wanting to see for a long time. And it's finally going to happen. I mean, barring injury to either fighter, it's going to happen July 12th. Can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be a good fight. Also, another good thing, I know this might not have much to do with the fight, but, after seeing some videos here on YouTube about, this fight and the press conference that they just had this weekend, good to see Oscar De La Hoya back on the scene. That guy has been around for a long, long time in boxing. I can remember watching this guy when I was growing up. I'm old enough to say I remember this dude when he fought in the Olympics in '92. That was a long time ago, but it's good to see that guy back on the sport because he's good for the sport of boxing. He draws a lot of attention. He's still a very famous figure in the sport of boxing, and it's good to have that guy back, man. So with that said, let's talk about the fight, man. First things first, I want to talk to these Canelo fans who attacked me when I said that it's time for him to fight Lara after Lara called out Canelo, and you guys talked shit about Lara, about how he was he looked like a fool and he embarrassed himself, and this really isn't how you make fights, and all this type of crap. After Lara called him out on the podium after the Angulo fight, I tried to tell you guys, man, that this is how you make fights. You know what I'm saying? This is how it gets done, man. Back in the day, this is the way fighters got themselves out there. They would go up and call motherfuckers out. That's just the way it is. Even Canelo himself finally admitted today that it was the calling out, the continuous calling out of Lara to him, that really made him want this fight more than anything. Despite what he said about how the fans, now all of a sudden the fans want it, when he said himself that nobody wants to see it. Then he says, well, the fans, they started to get hyped about it, so then I want it. But then today I read on Bleacher Report that, he finally came out and said that, it did bother him that Lara got up in his face and asked him, when are we going to fight? And that's good, man. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly the way it's supposed to be. I know nowadays a lot of guys don't, they don't like to call people out. They always want to say, oh, well, I'll just let my manager, take care of that. Nah, man, fuck that. A man calls you out, you gotta do something about it. Pride. That's when pride starts to get to you. Canelo, we know he's from Mexico. I'm a Mexican. And, we got a lot of pride, man. If someone calls you out like that, you gotta do something, man. You just have to. So I'm glad that he stepped up, and this fight's official. This is all I ever wanted to see from Canelo from the gate. I've been called a hater and this and that of the guy, but like I said, I don't know him. Okay, I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about this guy other than what he does in the boxing ring, and that's all I ever talk about. I don't ever say anything about this dude. Has he pulled some bitch moves in the past? Yeah, like when he fought Josecito Lopez. Yeah, I think that was a punk move. He could have fought somebody ranked at that time, but he didn't. He decided to fight a small 140-pound guy who moved up. And his only claim to fame was to hit Ortiz while his mouth was open. You guys forget that he was losing that fight. That was a fight that he wasn't even winning, but he gets a fight with Canelo after. I think that was a punk move. And I'm sticking to that till the end of time. It was a punk move. He could have fought Lara then. He could have fought Mataroshan then. He could have fought a lot of people then. He just didn't do it. He decided to take on the small guy. So that's why I have to call him out on that. I called him out on that. I said I didn't like it. So, that's the way. That's what I wanted. I just been wanting to see him fight, step up, and fight some of the best. Now he's done that lately when he's fought Trout. He fought Mayweather, which I think was just a money fight. But hey, he got the fight. They made millions off of it, and you gotta give him props for that. But I don't think he deserved that fight. But he got it anyway. And he lost, and he wasn't on that level, which is what I try to tell you guys when I made the prediction video. So then he fights Angulo, and he beat the shit out of Angulo, and he looked very good doing it. So now it's time for Lara, and for Canelo, right now in his career, he's still unproven to me at this point. Now if he wins this fight, I have no problem giving him credit. I think at this point, either guy who wins this fight, they're gonna get full credit from me, and I think that this is the best fighting the best at 154 pounds. I just think that's just the way it is. Canelo, like I said, lately he has been fighting more stiffer competition. He has fought a couple of guys that are actually in his division, which is something that he wasn't doing early in his career. Lara is a guy who's been on the end of some bad decisions, like when he fought Paul Williams. I thought that was just a flat-out robbery. I also think that when he fought Vanes Martirosyan, I thought he was actually winning that fight when they stopped it, but they called it a draw. The Carlos Molina fight, that's a tough fight. Could have went either way, in my opinion. I'm actually all right with the draw on that fight. So that's one reason why I think Lara is up there, one of the best, because he's fought a lot of guys that are ranked. He's fought a lot of dudes that are ranked. He stepped up more than Canelo has in his career. So that's why that's the main reasons why I think these guys are two of the best in the division right now. Like I said earlier, Canelo, people have been calling me a hater on this guy, right? Now I'm gonna take you guys on a little trip, a little journey through G-Funk's boxing time. There was a time where I didn't like Andre Ward, okay? Now I'm telling you, I'm from Northern California, just like Andre Ward. But at the beginning of Andre Ward's career, he was rattled a few times, he was buzzed a few times. I think he was actually knocked down by a couple of guys early in his career. And he wasn't looking good to me at first. He was always fighting in his hometown. And I was thinking, this guy, he's kind of overhyped, But as time moved on, he went into the Super 6. He did his thing. He proved himself. He won in dominating fashion. And he's ever since then, he's fought guys like Dawson, and he embarrassed him. And, he's made a name for himself, and he's proved it to me. And now G-Funk's a believer in Andre Ward, you know what I'm saying? And this same thing could happen for me with Canelo. If he wins this fight and does it impressively, I have no problem getting on board with him and saying, hey, this guy is the real deal. But as of right now, I can't do it. I just can't, based on what he's done in his career so far at this point. That's all it is. I just want to see him prove it. That's it. Bottom line, guys. Okay? If you want to call me a hater for that, fine, go ahead. But I just told you my stance on Canelo. So, with that said, I want to talk to some of you, internet tough guys out there that like to, come to my channel and, use these personal attacks and, curse me out. You got your little fingers all warmed up and loose and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? That's all good if you guys want to do that. But you show your ass when you do that. You show your true colors when you do that shit, You guys don't use any kind of boxing knowledge when you come to my channel leaving shit like that. Run around calling people bitch, calling people this and that. Even do it to the fighters. So I'm just going to say this right now. To the group of you guys who was running around calling Lara a bitch and that he was stupid and he looked like an idiot and he ain't going to never get the fight. You guys are all getting proven wrong. Okay? You guys are getting proved wrong because Canelo took the fight. It's official. So now you got to eat that shit. Okay? You got to eat it. Alright? You just have to. Okay? And for those of you who go around saying that Lara is fucking gay and he's a dirty fighter and he's a bum and he's this and that, then you motherfuckers can't run around and you ain't gonna come to my channel talking all this bullshit if Canelo happens to win the fight, because all Canelo's doing is beating a bum in your eyes, right? You talked all this shit about him, he's nothing, but yet you want to come and brag about it if your boy wins? No, that shit ain't gonna ride with me. All right, it's not going to. Now, if you come to my channel and you drop some knowledge, drop some boxing knowledge, and let me know how you think the fight's gonna go, you know what I'm saying? Then I respect you. I'll give you your credit. If you say I think Canelo's gonna win for this reason and this reason and this reason, and it's all about boxing, hey, I can't say nothing. I'll just give you your credit. Hey, you called it right. You know, good call. G-Funk was wrong. No problem. I ain't got no problem with that at all. Because like I said in all my videos, I'm not a fan of any of these fighters. I'm just not. Okay? And since we're talking about me not being a fan, I've been called out by a certain subscriber. And you know who you are. I'm not going to drop your name, but you know who you are. And it's funny because you want to call me a fanboy of Erislandy Lara. You called me a fanboy, and I should just come out and say it, and all this other crap, right? What's funny about you calling me a fanboy is that the only time I ever see you come around any of my videos is when I make a video about Canelo. You know, go ahead and check my library. I made lots of predictions on lots of fights. And you ain't nowhere to be found. But as soon as I make a video about Canelo, as soon as you see a Canelo video come up, you're right there. And you're complaining about everything I have to say about the guy. All the time. So, my question to you is, who's the real fanboy? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't just talk about one fighter. I don't even make videos about Lara, but you call me a fanboy? You know what I'm saying? just hilarious, man. Hilarious. I mean, the funny thing about it is the guy actually has some good knowledge when it comes to the sport. You know what I'm saying? But he just, you know, he's a fan of Canelo and he defends him no matter what, and that's fine. Whatever. If that's the way you want to do it. Like I said, we've had many talks, man. So, you know who you are. If you want to get at me, go ahead and get at me. It's all good. But speaking of you know, Canelo fans that have attacked me, there's been a few fans that have come to me and have said, you know, man, I think that you're tripping. I think that you're taking it personal when it comes to Canelo and this and that. And I've talked to these people, and we went back and forth, and these guys have ended up subscribing to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Because they realize that, hey, you know, maybe G-Funk, maybe he isn't biased. Maybe he's just telling you his honest opinion about Canelo, you know? And that's true. That's all I'm doing. You could ask any of them dudes, you know, like, some of them, like I said, they subscribe to me now. And we cool. We just talk about it, whether we disagree or not. I don't care if you disagree with me. Just let me know why you do it. You know? It's not a big deal to me. You ain't got to get all pissed off and do all the shit like I said before in a lot of my other videos too. I don't have time to go back and forth with you and argue with you over stupid shit, okay? If you come to my channel and you leave dumb comments or whatever, ignorant shit, I'm just gonna delete your comment. I'm just gonna block you. I'm just letting you know right now. Okay? That's that. I don't have time for that shit. G-Funk's a grown man, okay? He's got his own life. You know, he's got his own house. He's got a good job, you know, like this ain't what I do every day, you know. This ain't life or death for me, you know. I got a family, you know. I got real shit happening, you know. This ain't life or death for me. All I do is come on here and talk about my favorite sport with guys, you know, all around the world, and that's cool. You know, this is my escape from reality when I'm stressed the fuck out, you know. So G-Funk, I said, this ain't life or death for G-Funk. If he predicts a fight and he predicts it wrong, G-Funk always comes back. I'm always back, baby. You know what I'm saying? I always come back, whether I'm right or wrong. And I don't make no excuses. You know what I'm saying? If I see something, you know, I'll say it. You know, if I think the fighter that I predicted really won and he didn't, I'll say it. And I'll tell you why. I won't make up no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'll just tell you how I feel. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like when I did my prediction on the Pacquiao-Bradley rematch, I got it wrong. And I came back. And I ate my crow. You know what I'm saying? I even played the song from the movie The Crow in the background. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal to me if I get fights wrong, you know? So, you know, I just want to put that out there, man. G-Funk is not this fanatical guy like some channels are and some of these, you know, keyboard warriors are on here, you know? This ain't life or death for me. So I'm going to just go ahead and end this video right here because it's getting kind of long. I'm going to break down this fight to the best of my ability. I'm going to break down some other fights like the Cotto Martinez, the Alvarado Marquez. There's a good heavyweight fight on this weekend on ESPN, the Stavern and Areola. That's going to be a good fight. Hopefully I can get a prediction in before that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's getting kind of close. I'll do my best to see if I can get it done. But you know, like I said, for this fight here, it's a 50-50 fight on paper. If you ask me, I'd say it's 60-40 for Lara, but that's just my opinion. That's just the way I feel about it. I just think he's a little bit of a better boxer. That's all. And now, like I said, I'll explain the reason why I think that in my prediction video. But as of right now, I'm getting ready to cut it off because G-Funk's got shit to do. So you guys go ahead and get at me. Let me know what you think. This is the Funk, baby, and I'm out.